Hey everyone, happy Thursday to you. My name is Courtney McIntyre. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant. I am also the founder of Sleep Little One Sleep Consulting. And today I have a great video for you. It is about spirited children. To some of you you might not understand what I'm talking about. You might not know what a spirited child is, and I want to bring light to that. And I also want to explain how you can handle their behavior better, or I should say, manage their behavior better, and how this all pertains to sleep because it does pertain to sleep and has a lot to do with sleep as well. So, anyways, let's just get right into this. A spirited child is, well, first of all, I want to tell you that you're not alone when it comes to spirited children. There are 20 to 25% of all children born are actually born spirited. So you're definitely not alone. And what does spirited mean? It means like your little one's temperament is one that is like high needs or fussy. They might be very emotional. They react to stimuli around them very easily. They're just made that way. So, for example, they might give full bellied laughs. They might have that laugh that just is contagious, and everybody else laughs when they hear that laugh, or they at least smile. Or maybe they have a complete meltdown over things that other children they wouldn't really have a meltdown over that. So they react to their stimuli much differently than other children do that aren't spirited. So one thing that you should know as a parent of a spirited child is you are not responsible for your little one being spirited. It's not your fault. They're just born that way. And they grow up to be wonderful adults one day. So I mean, don't worry about it and don't stress about it. But there are things you can do to try to manage this, and that is what I want to talk to you about today. So, anyways, what are some of the signs that you have a spirited child? They look differently as a baby and then to a toddler or preschooler. And then as they grow up, it just keeps changing as they get older. Their temperament usually won't go away or change, but it just gets easier to manage the older they get. And it usually will change as they get older. So, like what I mean by change is it'll just develop into they still have their same temperament, but it develops into like it shows itself differently in each age that they're going through. So as a baby, the signs are they can be overly fussy. They might want to be held constantly. They don't like being changed, whether that be their diaper or a clothing change. They hate it, and you as a parent probably dread it as well. They don't feed well, either nursing or bottle feeding, or even with like the spoon, trying to spoon feed them. They don't feed well. Usually, a lot of the time, get distracted. They get distracted very easily. So it's hard to nurse them. It's like they get bored easily. Sleep training them is very challenging because they're very stuck in their ways and they want their way. They'll get bored or distracted easily. They'll cry around new people or new situations. They're very unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next with them. They may cry for really no apparent reason. You're wondering why they're crying. You really have no idea. It might not be apparent to you, but to them, they know why they're crying and they understand why they're crying. But as a parent, you may have no idea. And they might be difficult to calm down when they start getting upset. It might be really, really hard to calm them down. So, as a toddler or preschooler, the signs would be that they have frequent mood swings. So, like 1 second they're upset and crying and freaking out, the next second they're happy, the next second they're sad and crying. It changes so swiftly and so easily that it's so hard to keep up with it. They want to do everything on their own. They are the boss. And if they aren't able to do it on their own, they're going to freak out. They might have violent, long temper tantrums that can actually last like up to an hour long, and they're very intense. They might be headbanging, screaming, crying, hitting. It's like they're in another world, and anything you say or try to do with them, they don't. It's like they're not even seeing you. They might be a picky eater. They usually will wake up unhappy from their naps and their night sleep. And every day is unpredictable with these children. They are very clingy in new situations or around new people. They may develop severe separation anxiety, usually around the ages of 1 to 5. They're restless sleepers. They experience night terrors and nightmares very often. Their daily activities, such as brushing their teeth, changing them, putting on a seatbelt, transitioning between activities, meal times, baths, everything like that, they're very challenging and difficult with a spirited child. They really don't do those things well. So let's get into how you can better manage a spirited child. Of course, it has its challenges. It's hard, but there are ways that you can manage it. Not all of these ways will work for all of your children or for your child, but trying them and being consistent with it for at least a week, you might start to see changes. You might even see changes right away, but it's good to at least try. And if you don't see changes, then try something else. There's lots of examples that I have for you. So give them all a try or see what ones work for you and go with the ones that work for you. So keep them cognizant or informed on what is going on. You want to give them time to transition from one situation to the next. So if they know ahead of time that something's going to happen, it goes much easier for them because they can predict it. The anxiety around it won't be as high, and they won't feel like something's just all of a sudden happening to them. So really letting them know ahead of time is helpful. For example, if say you're reading a book before bed and you need to brush your teeth after, before you start reading the book, say, okay, we're going to read our book now. And after we read our book, we're going to go brush our hair and teeth and get ready for bed. So they know what's going to happen next. And then you can even remind them after the book, okay, it's time to go brush your hair and teeth now. And just those constant reminders and letting them know, keeping them informed can be really, really helpful for them. And give them some extra time to prepare for the transition from one activity to the next. Like I said, tell them ahead of time so they have no time to process it. Give them extra love. So spirited children really, really do well with quality one-on-one time. So make sure that you're having your relationship with them is always there, so they know that they can trust you, and they know that there's a meaningful relationship there that isn't going to go away. So for example, if you guys always play cards together every day, then make sure you do that every day. Or maybe you ride bikes together, or whatever, sing songs, or whatever it may be. Just make sure to stay doing that with them. Something they enjoy and something that you guys can do together that's fun. And so another one would be that consistency is key. A spirited child does really, really well if they have a consistent day-to-day schedule that they can follow on a regular basis. So they have a schedule, a routine. They know what's coming next. They know what's expected of them, and they know. So they're informed on what their day is. Another thing is to make sure they have rules and limits, because these type of children really, really need those rules and limits. It really helps them. Well, all kids need rules and limits, but to make sure that they know what those rules and limits are, make sure you explain them in a simple manner and that you're direct with it, and make sure you stick to them. If you don't stick to them, that's going to cause even more issues for you. So an important thing would be to make sure that you're validating their feelings and praise them when necessary. So if your spirited child has a meltdown, you need to get down on one knee and get one-on-one, eye to eye with them, and really try to understand what's wrong, and talk to them and let them know you understand how they're feeling, and ask them what you can do to help them. Then they'll feel understood, and they'll feel like how they're feeling, and that you want to help and you're there to help. With a baby, of course, you can still talk to them. They still understand what you're saying. So it's even important when they're a little baby to get down and speak to them and say, are you feeling frustrated? I'm sorry you're feeling this way. Do you want a hug? A lot of little ones, babies, toddlers, preschoolers, do so well even with just saying, do you want a hug? They love that, and it can actually really calm them down and help them. So comfort them in whatever ways work for them, and maybe distance yourself from whatever situation is bothering them until you feel that they can mentally handle it. And if you don't feel like they can mentally handle it, don't put them through it right that second. I mean, take a break from it. So when they do well in certain situations, it is really good to praise them. So praise them and be really specific with your praise. Don't say, "Oh, you're such a good girl." Tell them what they were a good girl about. Say, "You're such a good girl for eating your food without throwing it all over the floor. Thank you so much for doing that." Or maybe, "You did such a good job putting on your shoes. Thank you for doing that all on your own." That kind of specific validation and praise is really, really helpful. And let them help when they want to. I know that sometimes little ones, they can make a way bigger mess when they try to help us. But it is so, so important to let them do it. Not only will they learn from that experience and they'll learn how to do things on their own, but it also helps with the power struggle that may happen with a spirited child. So if they want to set the table, let them. If they want to use the spoon on their own, some babies, they just give me the spoon. I want to do it on my own. They might not get much in their mouth, but they're learning. So just let them do it. Maybe they want to put their clothes on their own. Just let them. It might be a bit messier, but they will learn and the power struggle won't be there, which is totally unnecessary anyways. And I would know because I have a little spirited child on my hands as well. So don't punish them for who they are. Spirited children may seem like they overreact to things, but they just need help regulating their very strong emotions and feelings. It's not something that deserves punishment. It's something that deserves understanding and compassion. So proactively model what it looks like to express your feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration in a positive way. And that can be super helpful for them to watch you do it. They can learn and they can take that away. Okay, so how does this all pertain to sleep training? So spirited children, they typically don't do well with sleep training because they're very persistent and they do not give up easily. So in this case, because of that, sleep training message such as cry it out or extinction, they just won't work with this little one because they won't stop crying. They will not, it will get worse. Things will get worse for both of you. So it'll just make things harder on both of you. So it's easier for both of you to take a gentler, more reactive approach when you're working with a spirited child. So the types of sleep training that work for spirited children, I'm going to give you a list of them, but between babies and toddlers or school age children, it's different. So for younger babies, I'm talking about like newborns, you can use, I would say newborn to, depending on which one, around 5 months, depending on which sleep training method. So newborn to 3 months, you could use the 5 S's. Google that if you don't know what it is. Google all of them actually, if you don't know what they are. The 5 S's is super helpful with a newborn aged 0 to 3 months. Shush pat is all as well. Pick up, put down also. The rocking, patting, back rubs, those all work really, really well for newborns. The shush pat, pick up, put down, rocking, patting, and back rubs can also work well for a 4 or 5 month old as well, even maybe up to 6 months, but they start to get a little more reactive at that age, so they don't work as well with those children, but you can still try. So for older children, I would say between 6 to 12 months, you can use the chair and room method. You can use the Ferber or a quick check method, or you can use the camp out method. Like I said, look those up if you don't know what they are. For toddlers or school age children, you can use any of the other ones, but I will say that the ones for newborns or younger babies, like 6 months and under, it usually won't work for toddlers or school age children. They're just way too, the parent is way too involved, and the child, more than method, the Ferber method, or the Campo method, although those ones may not work. All right, so that's basically all I have for you guys today. I know there was a lot to take in, but there's a lot that has to go with spirited children. They're a blessing, obviously, but they are challenging. It can be challenging. So it's very important that parents know if their children is like this and what they can do to help manage them. So anyways, if you can be, the last thing that I'll say that I know they're difficult, but when you can be compassionate toward them, it leads to connection with them. And what does connection lead to? Connection leads to calmer situations because your child will feel heard, understood, and loved. So I'm going to leave you with that. And that's it for me today. If you like this blog, if you like this video, please share it with others, especially parents that have spirited children. If you want more like it, definitely join my group, Sleep Little One. The link is in the description box. But if you'd like a more personalized one-on-one plan that pertains to your individual family, I also do those. You can check out my website at www.sleeplittleone.org. The link is also in the description. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week and weekend, and have a good day. Bye.